Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating history and impact of the railroad.
A technological marvel that revolutionized transportation and left an enduring legacy on societies around the world.
From its humble beginnings to the modern marvels of high-speed rail, we'll uncover the key inventions
Economic and social shifts.
and environmental challenges associated with this invention.
Our journey begins long before the iconic steam locomotive.
We need to understand the context that paved the way for this revolutionary mode of transportation.
The story starts as early as the 16th century with the emergence of wagonways,
Wagon.
essentially wooden rails laid down in mines across Europe.
I see.
These early systems were primarily used to transport heavy loads, particularly in difficult terrain.
So these wagonways, while rudimentary, introduced a crucial concept.
Guided transportation on a fixed track.
Correct.
This concept, though simple, marked a significant step towards more efficient land transportation,
It laid the foundation for later innovations.
including the use of iron rails, which emerged in the 18th century.
Why was the shift from wooden rails to iron so important?
The transition to iron rails was a pivotal development because iron significantly reduced friction.
Making the movement of heavy wagons far more efficient.
Precisely. Iron rails were also more durable than their wooden counterparts.
Capable of supporting heavier loads and withstanding more frequent use.
Exactly.
So these early wagonways, especially with the adoption of iron rails, essentially set the stage for the development of modern railroads.
They did. They demonstrated the potential of rail-based transport, providing a practical framework for inventors and engineers to build upon.
And they did.
The early 19th century witnessed a surge of innovation.
With the steam locomotive emerging as a game changer.
Richard Trevithick
A British engineer.
is credited with creating the first steam-powered locomotive in 1804.
While groundbreaking, Trevithick's locomotive was not without its limitations.
It was George Stephenson's rocket, which won the Rainhill trials in 1829, that truly captured the world's imagination.
And demonstrated the viability of steam locomotives for commercial transportation.
The Rainhill trials, held in England, were designed to identify the best locomotive for the Liverpool and Manchester Railway.
The rocket outperformed its competitors in speed, power, and efficiency.
Marking a turning point in the history of rail transportation.
The success of the rocket sparked a wave of railway development.
Not only in Britain, but also in other parts of the world.
The United States, for instance, saw the emergence of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad in 1827.
One of the first common carrier railroads in the country.
What made the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad so significant?
The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad was crucial because it was open to the public for transporting both passengers and freight.
This marked a shift from railroads primarily serving mining or industrial purposes to becoming a more accessible mode of transportation for the general public.
Exactly.
The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad also played a key role in establishing the early railroad infrastructure in America.
It did, and this infrastructure would eventually pave the way for the monumental achievement of the first transcontinental railroad, completed in 1869.
Connecting the East Coast to the West Coast by rail.
The Transcontinental Railroad was a truly transformative project, wasn't it?
It was a remarkable feat of engineering and a defining moment in American history.
It dramatically reduced travel time between the coasts, facilitated the westward movement of people and goods, and opened up vast new territories for settlement.
The impact of the Transcontinental Railroad on the American economy and society is hard to overstate.
And while the United States and Britain were at the forefront of early railroad development, other nations were not far behind. Countries across Europe and Asia recognized the strategic and economic importance of rail infrastructure and began investing heavily in its expansion.
The Trans-Siberian Railway, completed in 1916, is a testament to this global trend.
Connecting Moscow to Vladivostok, it's the longest railway line in the world, stretching over 9,000 kilometers.
The Trans-Siberian Railway exemplifies the ambition and scale of railroad projects during this era.
It was a testament to human ingenuity and a symbol of the interconnectedness that railroads were bringing to the world.
But alongside the steam locomotive, other crucial inventions played a vital role in the success and expansion of railroads.
One such invention was the standardization of track gauge.
The distance between the rails.
The adoption of a standard gauge, 4 feet 8.5 inches, might seem like a minor detail, but it was crucial for the interoperability and expansion of rail networks.
Can you elaborate on why a standardized gauge was so important?
Imagine if every region or company had its own unique track gauge.
Trains would be unable to travel seamlessly between different lines.
requiring constant changes of wheels or transfers of cargo.
A standardized gauge, on the other hand, allowed for the creation of vast, interconnected rail networks where trains could travel smoothly across long distances.
Precisely.
It's a prime example of how seemingly small details can have a profound impact on the development of large-scale systems.
Precisely. Another invention that revolutionized railroad operations was the electric telegraph.
The electric telegraph, introduced in the 1840s, transformed communication along rail lines,
Before the telegraph, communication between stations was slow and unreliable.
relying on messengers or visual signals.
The telegraph allowed for near instantaneous communication, enabling operators to track train movements, coordinate arrivals and departures, and quickly relay critical information in case of emergencies.
This improved communication significantly enhanced the safety and efficiency of rail travel, paving the way for more complex and reliable scheduling systems.
These three key inventions, the steam locomotive, the standard gauge, and the electric telegraph, formed the backbone of the railroad revolution. They provided the foundation for a global transportation network that would transform the world in the coming decades.
Now that we've established the foundations of the railroad, let's shift our focus to its impact on economies and cities worldwide.
How did the advent of railroads reshape industries and urban landscapes?
One of the most significant economic impacts of railroads was the expansion of markets.
Before railroads, producers were largely limited to selling their goods locally or transporting them via slow and expensive methods, such as horse-drawn wagons or ships.
Railroads provided a much faster and more cost-effective way to transport goods over long distances, didn't they?
They did. With railroads, producers could now reach distant markets efficiently, reducing transportation costs and making their products more competitive,
This expansion of markets had a ripple effect throughout economies.
stimulating trade and fostering economic growth.
This access to wider markets also encouraged greater specialization within industries, didn't it?
It did. Producers could focus on what they did best.
Knowing they could trade for other goods and services more easily?
This specialization led to increased efficiency and productivity, further fueling economic growth.
But perhaps the most dramatic impact of railroads was on industrialization itself.
Railroads were essential to the rise of mass production and the growth of heavy industries, weren't they?
Absolutely.
Factories needed raw materials like iron ore and coal in massive quantities.
Railroads provided the means to transport these materials efficiently from mines to factories.
And once finished goods could be moved quickly from factories to consumers across the nation and even internationally.
So railroads were much more than just a means of transporting goods. They were the very engine of industrial growth during this era.
That's a great way to put it.
This industrial boom, facilitated by railroads, had a profound impact on another aspect of human life: urbanization.
Cities, as centers of commerce and industry, experienced explosive growth thanks to railroads.
This growth was driven by people flocking to cities in search of opportunities in the burgeoning factories and businesses.
And railroads made that migration possible.
Exactly.
Railroads made it easier and more affordable for people to move to urban areas, leading to a dramatic increase in city populations.
This influx of people further fueled the growth of industries and businesses, creating a cycle of economic growth and urbanization.
And this growth wasn't limited to city centers. Railroads also played a significant role in the emergence of suburbs.
Commuter rail services allowed people to live outside the crowded city centers, while still being able to commute to their jobs in the city.
This led to the rise of suburbs as we know them today.
So the railroad's impact extended beyond the bustling city centers, reshaping the urban landscape and creating new patterns of living.
The railroad's reach was indeed far and wide.
As we delve deeper into the impact of railroads, it becomes clear that their influence extended far beyond the realm of economics and industry.
They also played a profound role in shaping social dynamics and cultural exchange.
One of the most significant social impacts of railroads was their effect on population movement and migration,
Railroads made long-distance travel more affordable and efficient.
opening up new possibilities for people seeking better opportunities or simply a change of scenery.
The impact on migration patterns was particularly evident in the United States.
Where railroads facilitated the westward movement of people on an unprecedented scale.
The availability of rail transportation made it possible for people to relocate to new territories
Establish settlements.
and cultivate previously inaccessible lands,
This westward expansion
fueled in large part by railroads.
had a profound impact on the demographics and cultural landscape of the American West.
It's fascinating to think about how this technology enabled the movement of entire populations, reshaping societies and forging new cultural identities in the process.
And the impact on migration wasn't limited to the United States,
Railroads facilitated population movements across the globe.
connecting people and cultures in ways never imagined before.
This era of railroad expansion coincided with significant social and economic changes worldwide.
With industrialization drawing people to urban centers,
Railroads provided the means for those journeys.
acting as catalysts for urbanization and globalization.
They did. And while railroads facilitated the movement of people toward urban centers, they also played a crucial role in opening up previously isolated regions.
Bringing remote areas into the mainstream and promoting economic development in those places.
How did railroads impact those remote areas?
Railroads extended the reach of civilization, connecting previously isolated communities to larger networks of trade and communication.
This had a profound impact on the development of these areas, allowing them to access markets, resources, and new ideas that were previously out of reach.
It's amazing to consider how railroads essentially shrunk the world, making it more interconnected and accessible.
But it wasn't just about physical connectivity.
Railroads also had a profound impact on our perception of time and how we organize our lives.
You're right. The advent of railroads necessitated the standardization of timekeeping.
Before railroads,
Time was often a local matter, varying from town to town.
with trains running on fixed schedules,
It became essential to have a uniform system of timekeeping across vast distances.
this need for coordination led to the adoption of time zones, a concept first implemented by American and Canadian railroads in 1883,
It's a subtle but profound example of how railroads influenced our everyday lives.
shaping our perception of time and how we structure our days.
And it's a change that has become so ingrained in our lives that we hardly think about it.
It's a testament to the lasting legacy of railroads on how we organize society.
But the impact of railroads on culture extended beyond timekeeping. They also played a significant role in cultural integration and the spread of ideas.
Increased travel and communication fostered greater interaction between people from different regions and backgrounds.
Leading to a blending of cultures and a sharing of knowledge.
Imagine the impact of people from different parts of a country or even different countries being able to travel and interact with each other more easily.
It must have been an incredible time of cultural exchange.
With new ideas, customs, and traditions spreading along the rail line.
Absolutely. This increased interaction led to a greater understanding and appreciation of different cultures, enriching societies in countless ways.
It also facilitated the spread of innovations as people were exposed to new ideas and technologies from other regions.
And we can't forget the role of railroads in the growth of tourism and leisure travel.
That's right. Railroads made it possible for people to experience new landscapes, visit historical sites, and engage with different cultures for pleasure and exploration.
This rise in tourism had both economic and cultural implications, contributing to the growth of the tourism industry and fostering greater cross-cultural understanding.
So far, we've focused on the positive impacts of railroads, but it's important to acknowledge that this technological revolution wasn't without its challenges and controversies.
As we delve into the geopolitical and colonial aspects of railroad history,
We encounter a more complex and nuanced picture.
indeed, while railroads undoubtedly brought progress and connectivity, they were also tools of power and control, particularly in the context of colonialism.
European powers, driven by imperial ambitions, used railroads to extend their reach into colonies.
Extract resources and exert control over their territories.
The construction of railroads in colonies like India and Africa often served the interests of the colonizers rather than the local populations.
Yeah, that crucial point.
Colonial powers often prioritized their economic interests, building infrastructure that facilitated the extraction of raw materials and the transportation of those resources back to Europe,
The needs of the local communities were often secondary.
leading to exploitation and the reinforcement of colonial power structures.
It's a stark reminder that technological advancements, while often transformative, can also be used for exploitative purposes,
The history of railroads serves as a cautionary tale.
reminding us that technological progress is not always synonymous with social justice or equitable development.
As we continue to explore the legacy of railroads, we must also consider the environmental costs associated with their construction and operation.
The environmental impact of railroads became increasingly apparent as the rail network expanded and the demand for resources grew.
The construction of railroads often required clearing vast tracts of land.
leading to deforestation and habitat loss.
The demand for timber for railroad ties and fuel for steam locomotives further contributed to environmental degradation.
And the burning of coal for steam engines released significant amounts of smoke and soot into the atmosphere.
Contributing to air pollution and its associated health problems.
These environmental consequences raise concerns about the long-term sustainability of railroads.
Prompting a search for cleaner and more efficient technologies.
These concerns, coupled with advancements in technology, led to a gradual shift from steam to diesel and electric locomotives, which significantly reduced emissions and improved the environmental footprint of railroads.
The transition away from coal-powered steam engines was a crucial step towards making railroads more environmentally friendly.
And in recent decades, there has been a growing emphasis on sustainable practices within the rail industry.
With a focus on electrification, the use of renewable energy sources, and the development of more efficient technologies.
These efforts to make railroads more sustainable are essential as we grapple with the challenges of climate change and the need for cleaner transportation solutions.
In the final part of our deep dive, we'll examine the ongoing evolution of rail technology, exploring innovations that are shaping the future of railroads and their role in a world grappling with environmental concerns. We've explored the vast historical and societal impacts of the railroad.
Now let's shift our focus to the technological advancements that have shaped its evolution
And continue to drive its future.
The story of railroad technology is a testament to human ingenuity.
From the early steam engines to the modern marvels of high-speed rail,
Innovation has been a constant force.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible in rail transportation.
One of the most significant transitions in railroad technology was the shift
From steam,
to diesel and electric locomotives.
the steam locomotive, while revolutionary,
Had its limitations,
it was inefficient,
requiring frequent refueling and maintenance.
and it produced a lot of smoke and noise.
The development of diesel and electric locomotives in the 20th century marked a significant leap forward.
What were the advantages of diesel and electric locomotives over steam?
Diesel locomotives
Powered by internal combustion engines.
were more fuel efficient and required less maintenance than their steam counterparts,
Electric locomotives
drawing power from overhead lines or a third rail,
offered even cleaner and quieter operation.
making them particularly well suited for urban environments.
This shift in technology not only improved the efficiency and environmental performance of railroads, but also paved the way for further advancements in signaling and communication systems.
That's right.
The adoption of more advanced signaling systems, coupled with improved communication technologies, allowed for increased traffic density on rail lines and enhanced safety.
It enabled more precise control of train movements, reducing the risk of accidents and delays.
So we see this ongoing evolution of rail technology driven by the need for greater efficiency
Speed
and environmental performance. And this drive for innovation continues to shape the railroads of today and tomorrow.
One of the most exciting developments in modern rail technology is the emergence of magnetic levitation trains.
Or Maglev trains,
These trains use powerful magnets to lift the train slightly above the track
eliminating friction.
and allowing for incredibly high speeds,
The Shanghai Maglev train, for instance, can reach speeds of over 400 kilometers per hour.
making it one of the fastest commercial trains in the world.
Maglev trains offer several advantages over traditional rail systems,
Because they levitate above the track, there's less wear and tear.
reducing maintenance costs,
They're also remarkably quiet and energy efficient.
making them a more sustainable option for high-speed transportation.
It sounds like maglev technology has the potential to revolutionize long-distance travel, offering a faster, more efficient, and more environmentally friendly alternative to air travel.
It certainly does. And while maglev trains represent a significant advancement in rail technology, there are even more futuristic concepts on the horizon.
Such as the hyperloop,
The hyperloop, a concept championed by Elon Musk,
envisions passenger pods traveling through low-pressure tubes at speeds exceeding 1,000 kilometers per hour.
it's a bold vision that could potentially transform transportation as we know it.
While still in its early stages of development, the hyperloop represents the kind of ambitious thinking that is pushing the boundaries of transportation technology.
If realized,
It can make long-distance travel faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient than ever before. While these futuristic concepts capture our imagination, it's important to remember that more conventional rail systems continue to play a vital role in our daily lives.
especially in urban environments.
Underground and elevated rail systems, known as metros or subways, have become essential for managing urban transportation needs.
Metros provide an efficient and relatively affordable way to move large numbers of people in densely populated areas.
They are critical for reducing traffic congestion and mitigating the environmental impact of transportation in cities.
And these urban rail systems are also embracing new technologies, becoming smarter and more connected,
We're seeing a growing trend towards smart railways.
which incorporate digital technologies to enhance efficiency and improve the passenger experience.
Smart railways leverage technologies like the Internet of Things
Artificial intelligence.
and big data analytics to optimize operations, predict maintenance needs, and provide passengers with real-time information and personalized services.
These advancements are making rail travel more seamless
Convenient.
and enjoyable for passengers.
It's fascinating to see how technology is transforming every aspect of the railroad, from the trains themselves to the systems that manage and operate them.
But amidst all this talk of technological advancements, it's crucial to remember that railroads have always been about people.
The people who build them, operate them, and rely on them for transportation.
And the history of railroads is also a history of labor struggles and the fight for workers' rights,
The construction and operation of railroads
especially in the early days.
often involved harsh working conditions
Long hours.
and low wages.
Immigrant laborers were particularly vulnerable to exploitation and unsafe working conditions.
These injustices led to the rise of labor movements and unions that fought tirelessly for better wages, safer working conditions, and the recognition of workers' rights.
Their struggles were a crucial part of the social and political landscape of the railroad era.
The labor movements associated with railroads played a significant role in shaping labor relations and influencing the development of worker protections that we benefit from today.
It's a reminder that technological progress should not come at the expense of worker well-being and social justice.
And it wasn't just labor issues that railroads brought to the forefront,
They also had a significant impact on economic landscapes.
sometimes leading to displacement and challenges for certain industries.
The rise of railroads led to the decline of some traditional modes of transportation, like canals and stagecoach lines,
Which had economic consequences for communities that relied on those industries,
and some rural communities were bypassed by rail lines.
leading to economic disparities and challenges for those regions.
It highlights the complex and sometimes uneven impacts of technological change, underscoring the need for policies that address economic displacement and promote equitable development,
But it's also important to acknowledge the safety challenges that railroads faced.
particularly in their early years,
The early days of rail travel were marked by a number of accidents,
often due to mechanical failures
inadequate infrastructure.
or a lack of safety regulation,
These accidents
some of them tragic.
highlighted the need for better safety standards and oversight within the industry.
They led to the implementation of stricter regulations
Safety protocols.
and the establishment of government agencies to oversee railroad safety.
These measures were essential for improving passenger and worker safety, making rail travel more reliable and reducing the risk of accidents.
The history of railroads is a testament to the importance of learning from past mistakes and continuously striving for improvement. As we look to the future, it's clear that railroads will continue to play a vital role in our global transportation infrastructure,
They offer a relatively sustainable and efficient way to move people and goods.
and they continue to adapt and innovate to meet the changing needs of society.
Ongoing efforts to make railroads even more sustainable,
Through electrification
the use of renewable energy sources,
and the integration of digital technologies.
are crucial for addressing climate change and ensuring the long-term viability of rail transportation.
In the development of high-speed rail networks and futuristic concepts like the hyperloop, point toward a future where rail travel could be even faster
more convenient.
and more environmentally friendly.
The railroad, once a symbol of the Industrial Revolution, is now poised to play a key role in a future defined by sustainability
Connectivity.
and technological advancement.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring the multifaceted history and impact of railroads.
From their transformative beginnings to their ongoing evolution, they have left an indelible mark on the world.
The railroad stands as a testament to human ingenuity, our capacity for innovation, and our enduring quest to connect with each other and with the world around us.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.